this is what I think. The mob exists. Let's not kid ourselves. It's a slice of Italian American life. If you're ignorant and think every Italian is a mobster, shame on you. If you think every rapper is a gang member, shame on you. And we could go on, stereotypes of Jewish people and of Polish people and Asian people and on and on. So if you're going to be ignorant, shame on you. Uh, the Sopranos was, it told a story that does exist that I feel needed to be told. Okay? It also showed Italians in a good light. There was Italian lawyers, there was Italian doctors, there was other Italian people in it, occupations. I, with the Goomba books, they were jokes. You might be a Goomba if you have more pinky rings than pinkies. If you wear a jogging suit to a wedding. Something a Goomba never says. Nathan Lane, I adore Nathan Lane. They're just funny, and I don't see anyone getting insulted by that. I did, and I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I did the Nicky Deuce book, Nicky Deuce, it's a book about kids and Goomba, and it's semi-true. Some of the things happened. I grew up in my neighborhood where it's the message behind it, if people took the time to read it, was you can't judge a book by its cover. Because someone may talk like a gangster, or what you perceive to be a gangster, or act like one, or dress like one, doesn't mean he's necessarily one. And then Nicky Deuce, turns out he's a cop, and he's not that, right? So I get a call from a guy. He was emailing me, get a call from a guy, and I was in Chicago doing a couple of book signings in different Barnes and Nobles, and he was sending letters ahead of time and trying to discourage this. Finally, I called him and I said, "What can I do for you? What is it that you want from me? This is where I grew up. This is a story that I know about. I didn't grow up on the Upper East Side of New York, hoity-toity life. I grew up on welfare. I grew up in a rough neighborhood in Brooklyn. This is the life I know. People all around me were mob guys in the 70s, friends, uncles, my baseball coach, etc., etc. Okay? This is the world that I grew up in. And I said, what can I do for you? What makes you happy? And what do you think he said? Maybe you could donate to my organization. So he was trying to shake me down.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. He wanted me to give him money and he was going to back off. He was probably in a basement somewhere doing this. Right? So, as far as I also got a lot of during the Soprano years, oh, I don't like that show. Why not? It makes Italians look bad. Have you seen it? No, my friend told me. Why don't you see it? Why don't you make your own decision?
Yeah.
Now, tell me you don't like the sex. Not for everybody. You don't like the cursing, which to me is silly because it's a word is a word. You don't like the violence. I get it. It's not for you. I get it. But I don't believe. Another thing, and we tell this story on the live show. The Pine Barrens was not shot in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. That was shot near West Point, upstate New York. Okay? Outside of Harriman, New York. That's where we shot that. It happened to snow. It wasn't originally written in the snow. The reason why we didn't shoot in the Pine Barrens was there was a politician named James Trefettini, I believe it is. He was a politician. He said the Sopranos made the state of New Jersey look bad. Italians look bad. It said it made blah, 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 blah. So we they wouldn't give us the permits to shoot in the Pine Barrens. We shot upstate New York. We stayed in a hotel near West Point. Do you know that he went to jail for fraud, mail fraud, for scams? He actually did time,
Wow.
and he would not give us permits.
Wow, the irony.
Oh my God.
And
And yeah,
on the live show, I show his picture, and I have his real name, James Trefford Tanty or something like that. Yeah, yeah. And we
oh
show
my
his
God.
picture and everything. Yeah,
It's crazy though, Steve. Because trust me, I feel the same way sometimes. Like people look at the show and they hate on it for no reason. They say, "Oh yeah, this that," makes the times look bad. It's like The Godfather. It's like people sometimes will bash The Godfather, which is one of the greatest, not even just mob movies, one of the greatest movies of all time. People study that movie,
absolutely,
and it's like that's if you know movies and you understand that film, it's about family. It's like The Sopranos. It's not a show about the mob.
absolutely.
It's about family. It's about Tony struggling, balancing both of his families and the inner struggles he has, which makes you fall in love with the guy, which makes it like different from other shows. Before The Sopranos, it's like you said, there was no anti-hero. The Sopranos pioneered shows like Breaking Bad and Ozark and those other shows to come after that. So yeah, I think people just have to look at it with a different lens.
You got to remember something that people in general, they also want to put you in a box, just in real life anyway. Oh, the guy's got a vowel at the end of his name. Oh, he must be mobbed up. You'll get remarks from people. You know what annoys me? People, a guy just did it last week, a guy that I didn't know, some business thing, and he texts me, talk to you Monday, you and Willie enjoy Gabagool this weekend. Now, we know the whole Gabagool thing, right?
Yeah.
This guy was saying it, I took it derogatory. It's like saying to a guy, you go eat watermelon this weekend, have some bagels and lox this weekend. Hey, go eat chop suey. What are you talking about, man? You know? There's Italian Americans and from judges to attorneys to doctors, and I have a lot of doctors and I have a lot of Italian doctors. That's what I'm saying. If you're ignorant like that, but in Hollywood, they also, if you're Italian, you're a big guy, I got a raspy voice, they don't want me to play a doctor. But there are doctors that look and act
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah.
I could give you 10 of them right now. There are doctors and there are attorneys and there are judges and there are all these supposed legitimate business guys.
Yeah.
That's that's what they're like. So if you're going to be stupid and ignorant, shame on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel.
Yeah, no, well said. And even how you're explaining in The Sopranos, it showed people with different professions. And I even liked how in The Sopranos too, it like touched on the stereotypes and talked about it. You said the Columbus episode was dedicated to it and stuff. So it's cool. They like touched on the topics and actually cared to like keep it in the conversation and know like everything. They're aware of everything in that show. It's crazy, you know?
But I also, I'll tell you this, and I've said it publicly before. I think Italians and Italian Americans get lost in this country. We're like the
Yeah.
forgotten group. Oh, they'll be fine. Well, wait a minute. They're getting money, and they're getting money, and they're being taken care of. Wait a minute. Not every Italian American is wealthy.
Yeah.
Not every Italian American. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
I,
No,
I
we
don't get it.
and I feel like on, because we obviously post about being Italian American every day, and you read some of the comments people say, and I just feel like if it were another ethnicity, like these people would not be saying like the
Well,
comments you're
that's what
saying
I'm
about
trying to say
Italian.
to you with the food and with the gabagool and with this crap. That's what
Yeah,
I'm trying to say to you. They would not
exactly.
be saying it, and I think they think it's okay to say that. Hey,
Yeah.
I early on, I auditioned for an Olive Garden commercial. They said I was too Italian.
What?
How's that?
Wait,
So
what?
would you say that to another ethnicity?
No,
That's
never.
that's ridiculous. That's
You're
very
too this, you're
ridiculous.
too that, you're too this. They told me that. I've had I've had guys on TV shows whisper in my ear, a producer on a game show or something, hey, can you, Goomba it up a little?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you want me to act like over the top Gavone, right? Hey,
Steve,
oh, hey, oh, hey.
Steve, you know what
I
that's
don't act
like?
like
It's like
Yeah,
that's not how
Stallone.
I act in real life,
It's like
yeah.
Stallone for Stallone. I don't know if I'm sure you know about this, but he auditioned for The Godfather. I think it was for like an extra role. They said he wasn't Italian enough, and he's Italian. He's
Yeah.
like that blows my mind. I know it's crazy.
So, I've gotten some of that, and I agree with you that they'll say things to us that they wouldn't normally say. They think it's a joke, and I worked in Hawaii years ago, and there's a guy, just a white guy, Hawaii guy, lived there, grew up there. He would make smart remarks to me. Hey, about, because I lived in Vegas for many years too. So there I would get some of those remarks until I had to pull them up and warn him not to say that again. He was getting these little quips that I didn't dig. That he wouldn't do to someone else. People are ignorant. A lot of people.
And I feel like it's, even Shane Gillis said something like Italians are the only ethnicity left you can make fun of. So people just like blatantly know it too, which is something, we got to work on trying to combat. So that's cool. You like straight up tell people, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
No, no, I hear what you're saying. Like I said, there's that stuff. They think and then you do get some bad things. There was, the mob wives and some things like that don't make Italians look in a good light, housewives, and there was some of that stuff, you know what I mean? Uh, I don't know. But like once again though, if you're somewhere and you're watching this, do you think every single person from New York acts that way?
yeah, what
No.
No.
you mean? Hmm.
I mean, but people think that, believe me.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like, you're watching some, is every you walk down the street in New York or Chicago, you're getting mugged? No.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Everyone thinks that it's
Oh,
the
I
way it is.
saw those. I saw that movie. The movie The Warriors. You ever see The Warriors?
The
Yeah,
Warriors.
Ever
that's a
see
good
that movie, The
movie.
Warriors?
I
Yeah,
don't think so.
yeah. With the
I
bottles
used to
or
meet
whatever.
people, the bottles at the
Yeah,
end,
come out and
the
play. Yeah.
different gangs, the softball gang, and people would say to
Great
me,
movie.
"Is that how New York is?" I said, "Really?
What?
Oh
Really?"
yeah, 100%. Every time someone's in Chicago too, they're like, "How dangerous really is it here?" Or whatever. It's like I
Yeah.
mean, I'm alive. You know what I mean? Like,
And
but
then people also do it with people down south,
mhm.
thinking everybody's, a redneck and everyone's, that's not true either.
Touch on a little bit too about your Italian American background and how you grew up and where your family's from, and because I feel like food super important to you, family super important to you. So it's all the values that come with being Italian. You could tell it's there with you. You know.
My, okay, my grandparents were born in Calabria, Riace, Calabria.
Oh, nice.
Both of them. My mother was Jewish, but raised by Italians. Okay, she cursed Italian, cooked Italian, spoke Italian.
Love
You
it.
know, uh, I was raised Catholic. I was baptized. Uh, I had a Jewish side of the family, but I grew up in Bensonhurst, which at the time, 60s and 70s, a big mob enclave kind of. You didn't know who these people were. I grew up with guys that went to jail. I grew up with guys that became doctors and pharmacists and cops and mailmen and the whole gamut.
Yeah.
It was a middle class neighborhood. It was fun. It was safe. It's changed a lot now. Uh, it's still safe. Still a good neighborhood, just different. Uh, you didn't know, like I said, your baseball coach. I didn't know who he was. The guy across the street. Then you read in the paper the guy went to jail. I said I had no idea. He was just, Joey's uncle or Joey's father or, whatever. Uh, it was a good, solid neighborhood with good people in it. from all walks of life. We all live, you know, together. Uh, I remember the good times of Sundays. My aunts, my uncles, my grandparents getting together for Sunday dinner, which not a lot of people do anymore, unfortunately. People are so busy and things going on, but
True.
every Sunday was like Thanksgiving. Every Sunday was a big deal, big food. My grandmother was an incredible cook, homemade macaroni. She made meatballs, lasagna. There was always a roast beef, like two, three courses. They eat all day, then start up again later on in the evening. And like I said, it was like Thanksgiving every Sunday. Everyone knew each other. You grew up with them, you played Little League with them, went to the same schools. I'm still friends with a lot of those people, mostly Italian American. There wasn't many people in my neighborhood that wasn't Italian American. It was almost all,
Yeah.
almost completely. If you weren't, you were kind of an outsider. Not that anything happened to you, but almost all, you know. Uh, you, a lot of the teachers were Italian American in elementary school, junior high school. Uh, my daughters went to school in Brooklyn. We've tried to raise them with those kind of values. My wife is Mexican American. They have very similar values. We had big Sunday dinners, family parties, kids with communion, confirmation, baptized, big parties. We had a big wedding. We got married in Vegas, me and my wife, years ago. Uh, you know, uh, that was kind of even now. We're together Christmas Eve and the holidays, and we have our traditions. And it doesn't, it's not carried down that much, but it still is. I see here, and like I'm in New York, but Staten Island and Jersey and Brooklyn, it's still happening.